No, it's not going to be boring, I promise. Unfortunately, I'm not as talented as Chris, so I can't sing, rap, or play an instrument very well, so that's not going to be in the presentation. I apologize. So I'm here today to explain to you about Facebook ads, kind of give you some insight on what the guys in the middle of the rows are doing. Give you kind of a quick spiel about Facebook ads and basically who we are and what we do. So you guys already know that I'm the team lead. For those that don't know, Clark Quick is the Senior Social Advertising Specialist. He works with all of our Tier 1 agency clients, and those are the folks who have $7,500 or more to spend for their advertising. You guys work with folks like Stratatech and Boss Cobbs. Those names probably should sound familiar to you. Outside of that, we have Jeremy Spalding, Matthew Wilkins, Kirk Morrison, Lee G. and Nick Price as our social advertising specialists. And right now, our current associates are Vincenzo and Jessica. And basically, their main function, believe it or not, actually is to provide a preview of ads, and most importantly, those weekly engagement tasks you guys put through. They're the ones who also help out with that as well too. So I wanted to put them on there so you guys had some names and faces to go along with that. But I'm not sure why the formatting on this is really crazy. So as we all know, the world is changing, right? We are starting to have begun advertising in the digital space, starting to grow. We've seen growth in the Facebook advertising team within the last year, so much so that when I started in May of 2013, there were just 4 of us, and now there's 10 of us 2 years later. So that gives you a good idea of where things are going. It's really exciting for us. We're excited about the growth. We're even seeing more opportunities to advertise in different social platforms like Pinterest and Twitter and LinkedIn. We're kind of starting to head in those directions too. So really excited about that. But specifically for Facebook advertising, you know, they're very aware that, hey, radio was doing fine, continues to stay consistent throughout the years. Television was doing great, and all of a sudden there's this giant spike in digital advertising. And now, more importantly than ever before, we see that a lot of advertising is starting to show up on mobile devices, tablets, cell phones. You know, how many of you guys access Facebook on your phones? Should be all of you, right? Maybe all of you. So what we do is that when we try to, you know, represent our clients, we want to be able to go to a platform where people are going to frequent a lot, and that, first and foremost, you're probably rolling out of your bed, checking Facebook, getting ready to go on break, probably checking Facebook first, right? So we obviously know that one of the most popular places to go to right now happens to be Facebook, right? So we're advertising this platform. We're trying to reach, you know, people's fans, maybe they're friends of fans. We're trying to speak for the client. We're trying to represent them, put them in the best possible situation in front of an audience that matters to them. So when we do that, we are trying to get these clients in front of people who are on their mobile devices and reaching out to them to maybe get them to like a page or to visit a website or to claim an offer or to enter a contest or sign up for a newsletter or win tickets or buy tickets. Whatever it is that the client wants to do, you know, we do our best to try and provide the best strategy that suits their business needs. You know, we're not going to just do something willy-nilly just because we want to. You know, first and foremost, they're paying us to represent them on this platform, so we want to make sure that we're doing that. Excuse me. So when we're having these conversations with, you know, clients and client services specifically, you know, we want to make sure that we're advertising the people that matter to the client, right? We want to make sure that we're not just targeting people just to target them. We want to make sure that we're appealing to whoever they want to advertise to. One during high school, high performance driving. You know, who are we targeting there? Maybe people who are into cars. Are we really going to target parents? Probably not. You know, are we going to target people who are into, you know, different types of sports media, be it like Hot Rod Magazine, Lowrider Magazine, Car and Driver? Probably. Okay. So what my team does is that we start creating these ads here to, you know, encourage people to, like I said, buy tickets, maybe learn more about leasing options. You guys know Cityscape is actually just right down the road here. Quick little side story. I had an opportunity to go and visit Cityscape, and if I could afford to live there, I totally would, because that place is awesome. But it was great for me anyways, because I was a specialist for Cityscape residences, and so for me to be able to talk with them, kind of get to know them a little bit more, like not a lot of people get that opportunity, so it was great for me to, kind of get an idea, like, who are you guys really trying to target? Like, tell me a little bit more about the people that live here, and that gave me a lot more insight than I got from, client services. But we all don't get that luxury, to be able to have those conversations with their clients that way, right? Because we're not on the phone with them as much anymore. So, getting back over to Von Durant, we're reaching out to them, hey, look at that, the love one right there. Ever dream of driving a sports car, like us and turn that dream into reality? And, when you're targeting maybe young guys who are into racing, that says a lot right there. It's eye-catching, the photo's great, it's like, I dream of driving a sports car, I would love to do that. And then even on the right side there, we got an engagement post, and again, that's just appealing to the senses right there. Depending on who we're targeting, there's going to be a lot of, engagement with this one. This one in particular, there was actually really strong performance with this. That's why I chose that photo, just so you guys know. Boom, right?
Sorry, I'm just celebrating myself.
There you go. Celebrating and crunching, right?
Sorry, if this is really loud.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Busting your chops. So when we create our ads, like I said, we try to keep the audience in mind. We try to make sure we're targeting the right people, not only persona targeting, but also geographically speaking. But the other thing we want to keep in mind too is we want to try to put these ads in every possible space that there is on Facebook, right? So we know based off of research, based off our own testing, that we find that the best performance that takes place for all of our ads are on the news feeds. That's both mobile and desktop. So when we create our campaigns, we do place these ads in the news feeds, but we also even place them in the right-hand column as well too. Because again, we want to try and take advantage of as much real estate as we can on Facebook with our ads. Okay. We do one of those occasions where we have dealt with clients who just want to do right only ads. We definitely discourage that. That's just more from a performance standpoint. We want to try and give them as much exposure as possible. So when, that exchange comes up and they try to push back on us and tell us, no, we only want to do right column only, we always push back with stats saying, hey, look at, this is information coming from Facebook. This is information coming from, other trends that we're seeing here, other blogs, if you will. This is based off our own experience that being exposed to all these different places on Facebook is actually more beneficial than just one spot alone. So, when you guys have your engagement posts, we do all placements. So when we say all placements, that's these three right here. Okay. So just kind of going back to something I said, this is information that Facebook shared with us. The newsfeed is definitely the most powerful placement they have on the web. Facebook completely understands that a lot of people do spend time, on their platform, and this is where we're seeing the most engagement, most interaction, with stats, backed up there too. So this is again more information that we're sharing with the clients in case they want to push back and kind of talk to us about the way that we're targeting things. This is also stuff that we consider too when we go to build campaigns as well. These are items that you guys are creating, when you guys are doing your monthly calendars, right? And this is information that or posts that we're putting ad dollars behind. Just a couple other ones, kid photos always do well, especially when they're cute kids. And this is very something appealing because if any of you guys are parents, such as myself and Lisa, there's always that one favorite song that your kid likes to bebop and dance around to. So, I imagine that the targeting for this one was probably parents, and they got a lot of interaction with it too. Be honest with you, I was really surprised to see Allison Bain Institute with this particular post, only because we've kind of seen a trend with just text-only posts that they don't do as well, but this one actually did phenomenal in terms of cost per engagement. So I decided to put that one up there just to kind of give you maybe kind of like an idea of some items to use. Is that yours, Vanessa?
Well, our team.
Oh, your team.
Yeah.
Right on. Good one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Forever.
So a few weeks ago, we got this weird article that Chris shared with us and said, "Hey, you guys ought to fit these photos in somewhere with whatever you're doing." So if you notice, it's one of those photos from the article he shared with us. So anyways, shout out to Chris, even though he's not there. Thinking of him. So when you guys are doing your writing and you guys are starting to think of, well, geez, what do I want to start? What do I want to promote? Like, what do I want to say? What do I want to do? Get dollars behind. When we set up these campaigns, these engagement campaigns, we are obviously trying to target the fans, the audience, right? We're also trying to target their friends. That seems to be the most common type of targeting that we're doing with these engagement posts, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Sometimes, though, when you guys are doing your writing, it helps to take into consideration who we're trying to target. When you guys go into your writing sessions, you guys start creating content, do you guys factor those things in? Are you guys having those conversations with my specialists to say, hey, you know what? I'm writing this post that I eventually want to put ad dollars behind for males and females between 18 and 25 that might be into, TV shows. Or I'm writing this content for males and females 25 and older that are interested in traveling for Riverstone Resort and Spa. Are you guys factoring those things in? I mean, there's no right or wrong answer, but it's something to think about, right? So who are you writing to? Who are you guys trying to appeal to? And, if you're not sure of who you guys are targeting in your engagement campaigns, talk with a specialist. Swing on by, talk with them. Hey, I'm getting ready to, write some more content, kind of getting an idea of maybe some trends you're seeing. How can we improve the engagement campaign? What targeting can we change? What do I need to write in order to appeal to who you guys are targeting? Some of those things to factor. Because you guys are always reading online, about best practices. And some people, even in advertising too, will say, you know what, you ought to just write for who you're planning to target. You ought to write ad copy for the picture that you're using. And we definitely do make it a point to do that. But from an engagement standpoint, we also want to make sure we're factoring that in as well. So what works best? Partner up. Partner up with any of the specialists. They'll be more than happy to talk to you about it, strategize with you. And I'm definitely sure they'll welcome you guys to, sit with them for a little bit and have those conversations because, you know what? You guys working together are going to help make a successful campaign, and both of you guys are going to get all the kudos, right? And plus, I think I'm kind of tired of talking to client services too. No offense, client services. And then of course at the end of the day, it's all about teamwork, right? We got tasked with doing gooder before Chris left, and I think it's a great opportunity for you guys to sit with a specialist, and talk with them a little bit about maybe who to target. I think there was one with Clinton Hardware that I was a specialist on, where there was writing taking place, and I talked with the specialist a little bit like, who are you trying to write for? Are you trying to just write for guys, or are you trying to do like men and women? And once we kind of figured out what direction we were going, then we started seeing some improvement with their engagement campaign. That really helped out a lot, and all of a sudden they started getting more fans as a result of that too. So they were really happy about it. They were just like, we don't want to do standalone spam, we're just going to do social. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. And they were happy with it. So that's my recommendation. If you guys are trying to do gooder and step up your game, my recommendation would be to sit and talk with a specialist. You guys have any specific questions for me?
Yes.
Okay.
How do you guys figure out how to target normally? So when you're going to do like a new engagement or even like fan acquisition campaign, besides doing friends of fans or things like that, do you guys do a lot of research into the clients, or do you just look at like what the fans' interests are already?
So that's a really good question. So one of the things that I've been really hammering home with the guys is to look at the audience insights on the pages. That information alone is like a gold mine, because we can get a good idea of who is talking about what, who likes what, and those audience insights. So once we kind of start seeing what this page is about behind the scenes, it gives us the opportunity. Maybe we ought to kind of refine our targeting in this direction. Because typically, and this is just out of the gate, when we get a new build, for fan acquisition, just to start the process, we're always just following the targeting the right board. Then when it comes to optimizing, then we're looking at those things. Maybe should we kind of change things up in terms of the geo-targeting? Should we change the age on it a little bit? And it's always like, did you check audience insights? And we're like, oh yeah, I should probably look at that. And that's really one good resource that you guys even have access to kind of take a peek. Like, maybe if I'm writing for this page, let's look at the audience insights and maybe try and write to that.
Right.
And if you're writing to that, then you're talking with the specialist and saying, hey, you know what? I'm kind of trying to hit in this area. So when we go to do these engagement posts, can we try to target that? Test it out. And it'll actually be a good experiment and learning lesson for you guys to maybe kind of figure out what works best for them, and then maybe change it up the next time that the social cycle comes through. So
is there an opportunity to balance audiences, right? So what we've seen is, you're talking about the existing audience.
Yeah.
Let's say a brand repositions, company wants to target a different group. Is that also useful for you guys to sit there and say, hey, we're looking now, right now we're primarily 18 to 45 male.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking to expand into 18 to 35 female. Like, is there a resource and is there targets that you could potentially provide this team?
yeah, I mean, that's definitely, again, going back to having a conversation with the specialist. If that's something where you have that type of information and you think, that's the direction that the client's going to go in, that's definitely worth telling us.
Sure.
Because at that point, we're changing up our targeting. We're kind of taking a look at what we're already doing and optimizing everything towards making sure that campaign's performing at its best based on what you guys are trying to promote your engagement post to. So again, it's just a communication thing. Just like in any relationship, you definitely want to make sure that you have that communication in place so everyone involved can be successful and has the potential to be successful too.
In the engagement, you said that you were targeting fans and then new fans.
Friends and fans.
Yeah, friends of fans.
Mm-hmm.
With fan acquisition, is it just the friends of fans, or is it still going to be the fans?
No, so when we're doing fan acquisition campaigns, we're targeting non-fans. So it could be friends of fans, it could be like if it was Bob Von Duren, again, I'm just kind of picking off the top of my head. I'm targeting people maybe who are into like hot rods and lowriders or drag racing or whatever the case may be. If we're doing something like Riverstone, maybe we're targeting people who are interested in traveling. We're targeting people maybe who are interested in pampering themselves, whatever the case may be. Maybe people who are interested in spas and massages, those type of people in makeup. Kind of just really depends, of who their clientele is. And there again, we're either pulling that information from the right board or we're going to audience insights and pulling that information in as well too. So.
Because I think we had gotten a question about it on a fan acquisition campaign. If you guys had gotten to where like the rep had liked the page, but then was still getting targeted to like the page. Is that what it was?
I think so. Just kept seeing those ads.
Yeah.
The link.
See, that just depends on the targeting.
And
That's,
so then, what would be the point, I guess, of then still targeting people that already like the page?
well, I mean, that's the thing is that we should collectively should never ever target somebody who already likes a page. We should never target a fan of a page. But let's just say, for instance, this person likes the page, and we happen to target something that they're interested in, that they're going to see the ad.
So that's why they
So I may not like, Jerry's, Taco Shack, but, because they targeted somebody who, likes The Voice on TV, and I happen to like The Voice, I'll see it.
So that's why they
Yeah.
don't see it. Okay.
And I might be a fan of the
You guys
page,
pointed
and I'll still see it. Yeah. So, again, I mean, if you're having those conversations with reps and stuff, and they're asking us questions, or client services asking us questions, just one of those things, talk to the specialist, like, hey, you know what, here's what's going on, and you kind of talk to them a little bit about targeting, and then at that point, it's a great learning opportunity for you guys to be able to go back and say, okay, talk to the specialist, here's what's going on, here's why you're seeing this.
that helps us.
I'll tell you what, the guys are very open with talking to anyone about Facebook advertising. They like doing that stuff. They like getting technical. They kind of like testing themselves and pushing themselves too. So, like I said, if you guys ever have questions, you can reach out to them. You guys have any other questions for me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do. So I know that you can target that you have the ability to take one post and like change just the targeting for just that one post. Is that like a crazy amount of work for if when we put in that engagement task to say like I want this specific post to only be targeting like these specific people. So say for instance like we wanted to run a Father's Day special or something for Bondurant. So we want to target moms in that interest or in that case because they're buying for their husbands,
Sure,
their dads
makes
and
sense.
stuff. So is it possible to say like I want this post to only target to women,
Yeah, you can do that.
something like that?
Yeah, I mean, we've had situations like that before, like when we do like Valentine's Day ads.
Yeah.
We'll target like single people or in a relationship.
Okay.
Change your targeting around for something like that. So yeah, that's something possible. You would do something like, females 18 plus. Maybe they are parents. Maybe they're still in a great relationship with the father. Maybe they want to say, hey, I want to send my husband to Honduras. Or you can target married women.
Mm-hmm.
Who
Right.
are parents. You can do that too.
And so would I just put that in the notes?
Yeah,
section?
you can just say, hey, here's what I'm trying to promote, and here's who I would like to target, and, it shouldn't be a problem. And of course, if the guys have any questions, they have zero problem about reaching out. So, hey, we got some concerns or some questions here, they'll come back to you and talk to you about a little bit, strategize with you a little bit more,
Okay.
They, definitely seeking to understand before they get out there and start just, throwing stuff out there really more to Facebook.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if, just to kind of go off of what you're saying, I mean, if you guys ever ran into a situation like that where you wrote a post for something specific
Mm-hmm.
and you only want to appeal to someone specific, definitely make sure you communicate in the task. That's what it's there for, Or even if you're just like one of those things where you guys are just all like staring at the wall and like, oh my God, I don't know what to write. Get up and go talk to one of the guys like, hey, who are you guys targeting in these campaigns just so I have an idea?
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys looked at audience insights? Some of those things kind of start. Facebook has really good resources, audience insights being one. I keep hammering that home, but I mean, it's the truth. Like, it's such a great, great tool to use. And then specialists, I would probably talk to second, but yeah, you can definitely do that.
Cool.
I like to see those gears turning. What other questions you guys have? Anything?
Talk about the expanding platforms, right? How are you guys going to integrate into these other platforms that you guys have shown interest in?
Oh my goodness. All right, so.
I know that's a huge wide canvas, but
I know, world definition. So Pinterest kind of came to us through a conversation via Boscovs, and they were selected to do beta testing on Pinterest's website. For whatever reason, they had access to it. They lost access to it, and Clark said, "I'm just going to reach out and see what we can do." And so that's what he did. He reached out, and they came back, and they were just like, "Yeah, let's all work together. Let's try and make this work. Yay, yay, yay!" So Clark, is trying to get Boscovs and the agency team on board to get this ball rolling. So we're definitely excited about that. I already told them, I'm like, dude, we need to write everything down.
Yeah.
We're taking
systematized
notes.
process.
Like, we're going to try and map all this stuff out, because if we can start doing this, that'll be sweet.
Yeah.
So
what most excites you about that platform right now?
From a visual standpoint, it's just kind of great to I'll just be honest here. Like, when I first heard about Pinterest, like, my biggest thing was just like, why can't I just bookmark pages? That's essentially what you're doing, But the more and more, like, I started, like, messing around with it, I'm like, okay, I can definitely see some value in it, because there are a lot of people are, visual, So if we're able to advertise and you kind of appeal to the senses with a really great photo,
Sure.
done deal. Like, how many times you scroll through Twitter or you're on Facebook, whatever, you see like a really awesome photo of food, and you're like, whoa, what is that? And you're like freaking out.
Yeah.
Like, what was that, churro hot dog or something?
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. See, everyone saw that, right? Everyone saw that.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely going to be some value there, especially for retail brands like Boscovs.
Sure.
Especially if they have like prom dresses, they want to promote, or really cute shoes, and just things like that.
One other question for you, since
Sure.
I've got your time.
Sure.
Picture dynamics. One of the things that I did when I was working with Disney was on mobile specifically,
Sure.
getting spires and things that look like trees and creating scrollable completion. So basically, as you start, you don't want to finish it. Your eye's continuing to draw down, so you're pushing forward. What should these guys be thinking about in image selection that might help create that?
Well,
Or have you seen that even?
No, we haven't really seen that, really. As far as like, kind of going back to something I said, as far as like using imagery, it's really going to be dependent upon what you guys are writing about. I would definitely try and see if they can mirror each other. That always hits off. And then the targeting is just the afterthought with it all.
Okay.
But yeah, we haven't specifically run into that.
Okay.
What else? And to add a little bit more to your other question about the other
Sure.
platforms. So we're already doing LinkedIn ads. We have 3 different clients. We had another one sign up to do $15,000 a month.
Okay.
With us, and we're going to be working with them starting next month.
What's their goal?
Business to business sales. They're selling servers, tech products and stuff.
IT managers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely. And then the other side of it too is Twitter. I reached out to them, and wow, they're pretty expensive to advertise with, but still pretty exciting nonetheless. We have potentially a client who's really ready to pull the trigger and spend about $20,000 a month on Twitter advertising. We're not quite there yet, so yeah, it's pretty intense. It's like I said, it's not cheap on Twitter. And then Instagram right now, you guys probably saw something a few days ago that they're going to start doing that. I've reached out to them. They're like super tight-lipped. It's like Fort Knox trying to get anything from them right now. Kind of hoping once we do, maybe potentially get that ball rolling too. Because we want to be social advertisers.
Do we have any clients that are YouTube capable?
Not that we work with.
Okay.
Not that our team works with. We are seeing a little bit more dialogue now with people who want like video ads, and those have been great.
Okay.
Yeah, we have one particular client who has been running a video ad for almost a month now. They have over 43,000 views at like 4 cents a view.
That's brilliant.
That's cheap. Super
Yeah.
cheap, so excited about that. What else, guys? Come on, it's your chance.
Final 5 minutes. Come on.
You do it. Anything else? You have any questions, Margo?
I mean, I have a million, but I think I need to learn more before I ask questions, just because there are questions everyone probably already knows.
That's cool.
I
That's fair.
understand that.
Yeah, it's true.
So that's not a lot of people's expertise. Trust me, I worked in the social space for over 7 years before I got any education onto ads and ran my first ones. So
Did you tell you?
No, I was just gonna say, I wish you could just like walk us through making one of like when you're rebuilding something. I'm always so curious to know like what goes.
And I'm actually glad you brought that up because that's what I was going to close with. So,
Oh,
got it in my mind. If there is ever a time that you guys want to see what a build looks like from scratch, let me know, and I'll have you sit with a specialist. If you ever know that you're going to put in a rebuild task to switch from fan acquisition to engagement, and you want to see what that looks like, let me know, and we'll sit you down,
yes.
and you guys can watch that.
as one of the offsides, can I ask that you somehow screen record this for me so I can see it?
I would definitely work on that.
Okay, fair enough. That's just a small ask.
Yeah. We've had Farrah come sit with us, and we're just more of like a high level overview. She just kind of wanted to know like what we did, how we work in our processes and stuff like that. And definitely welcome. I remember when I first started working here, Shuba was always kind of like floating around and seeing what we were up to as well too, and that really helped her as a specialist. And so I encourage you guys to do the same thing too. If you guys ever have any questions, you guys want to see how things work, whatever. Let us know.